Good morning. Today is February 17th, 2024. This is the second general meeting for Qhsc. Thank you for everybody who came on time, and appreciate your time on Saturday so we can share what we need to do the second month of this year. We have scheduled monthly meeting. We're going to show you what we planning for the training, membership, volunteers opportunities, deadline for shipping, dates for the medical mission, matching funds, how are we doing now, community outreach projects, where we are, and then tentative schedules. That's the most time we're going to spend to that number 9, and then after that, the meeting will be over. To start with, the meetings are scheduled monthly. As I said, the first one was January 20th. And then so the February is today, and then the March is going to be March 9th. All the meetings are 9 o'clock in the morning, which will make 5 p.m. In Tanzania, or saa 11 jioni. And then April and the rest of the month. We keep posting it. Hopefully people will be able to save some time and to come and learn or give us suggestions as much as you can. We do have board members. Last month we share with it, and then the website is going to be updated, so you will see all the board members' names. We do have new board members and existing board members in there. We do have advisors to the organization, and then the general special project volunteers in there too. So the board member meeting was done in the 19th, and then the next one in April, so which we do quarterly. The training, we've have this schedule for the year, and these are the dates close to be tentative because it can change. It depends on the participants and facilitators if they're available, because they're all done by volunteer. So we do have a first session of a training with the ICU, Adult Intensive Care Units. So Dr. Gwen Randall and Dr. Map Said, they'll be teaching effective airway management in ICU. So that would be great. So we want people to register. So when we start posting those, the QR code, please help us to spread it out. We want people to register so we have access to them. When we finish the training, we can send them the information, or if we have any questions, and get feedback from them to make our training effective. So the first one is going to be March 7th at 7 in the morning on Thursday. And then the second one is March 14th, sorry. That was Dr. Msambichaka and Dr. Ngido will be doing the Help a Baby Breathe. And that's, again, the same thing is 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And then so anybody who wants to join those meetings, please register ahead of time, because we have to have a head count so we know how many people we have. And then also we have access to those people. We can send them the material after the training is completed. And then so Qhsc is not going to survive without the volunteers or members. So we do have Qhsc members and friends, and we do have that link. So we encourage people who wants to be members, at least do your annual contribution by March 1st. And then so if we get members who are joining us later, that's okay. General members is going to be $75. The board of directors, advisors, and special projects for the executive members are $150. Membership for students is $50. That's also lasts the whole year. And then Qhsc members, they don't pay anything else, but if you still want to participate in the project or volunteering activities, you're welcome. So thank you. And then, of course, right now we are still working on trying to find funds and donations to help the organization. So if we have funds allotted for the Qhsc activities and medical mission, and they were able to help reduce the cost for the people who are helping us, the first priority is going to be the people who are members, whoever pay membership, because if you already support and value the Qhsc mission, so definitely you're dedicated. So if we have to ease your the expenses, that would be the first people to get. And there's more criteria through the website. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will share that link, and then you can understand exactly the extent of the membership benefits. Volunteering opportunities, definitely we're still encouraging people to be mentored or become mentees. So then you can learn, if you see any board members position and you're interested to learn what they do behind the scene, or how you can learn to run the organization, or how to be a logistic person or secretary, whatever the position is you're interested. Just remember that is a non-paying position. We are all volunteers, nobody gets paid. However, we are all have a mission to help others and support our community. So if you are interested in that, let me know, or send the information through info.gaboniqhsc@gmail.com. Also, you can go to the website and put that information in there. That will be fine also. All these things in preparation of the medical mission, which is on September 13th to the 28th. Usually I'm in tentative +1 minus 1 day, depends on when we get the tickets and stuff like that. But those are the day tentative medical mission right now. So if people are thinking of going, please let us know so we can start head count. And then so we can cover all those projects that needed. And then so you know what you're going to be doing when you get there. So in order to prepare for that, that's why we have to do the shipping. We need to try and after today, we need to try and get those supplies for each of the projects that you people are sign into. So you can get those supplies by the 30th. And then we need to ship to the agents by the May 15th, and then ship out of the country by May 30th. This is going to give us 6 to 8 weeks opportunity. So then we are able to, when we get to Tanzania, we have all the supplies with us to be able to function and provide the care that we want, either to school or to the community. The way we're doing the matching funds, I mean, those processes going to continue, and especially now when we finish this meeting today, because people will know which projects they can join in and contribute. So we are hoping that if you know, if you work to an organization that supports community outreach or nonprofit organizations, please let us know so we can work with you, and then you can help us raise funds that way. Or if you have a corporation that usually support those nonprofit organizations, please let us know so we can send a letter and help us to get those funds to support our activities. And then so this is like kind of a request or call to action for everybody, either you're Qhsc friends or members, please come and join us so we can ease the burden of those expenses and to be able to provide for our communities and also for the healthcare workers. We'll continue having our Qhsc, and then so definitely the last updates that from Ms. Bree was those T-shirts from the CPR, and then that's the link. I'm sure she posted it last time on the Qhsc group. So I'm hoping that Ms. Bree, if you can post it again after the meeting or even during the meeting, that's fine. Just to let people know, if you want to buy something, buy a T-shirt, we do get a small percentage to the organization. Even if it's $2, $5 or whatever, we appreciate those things. So if we get 100 people, 1,000 people buying those T-shirts, and there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, this is just a sample that the latest she created. So if we have that, that would be great. So please come and join us and help us and spread the word.
Dr. Gaboni?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Concerning those T-shirts,
yes.
Bree, are you able to make one for the school?
Yes, just text me what kind of design you want.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Jones. In fact, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, but I almost forgot. Yes, so this is just a sample because we have a huge project starting with the Qhsc community CPR, which I'm going to talk in a few minutes. That's why she created this new T-shirt. So we want people who are volunteers, if you are able, buy those T-shirts. If not, just buy any T-shirt. I'm sorry, wear any T-shirt that has Qhsc on it. And if not, if you've never had any T-shirt before, Qhsc have some of the T-shirt for previous activities and event. But if you're really excited about the CPR and stuff, then buy the T-shirt that has also actually show that what you're going to do for the CPR activities. And also, yeah, so Ms. Bree can create a T-shirt from whatever the organization you're working with, or activity you're working with, so school or camping or wherever they need a T-shirt like that. Definitely, she'll be able to work with you. So please send that information. You can still send it to info.gaboni.qhsc. And also, Bree, can you put your business email in the Qhsc so people can send information or comments or requests to you so that you can respond them quickly as they ask them for.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Thank
then a quick question too, Bree, the design with the stethoscope, is that for a particular program or is that CPR as well?
It was just anything.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like anything healthcare because you can use the stethoscope for everything else. Yeah. So, but because she was doing this compression, you know, and also we put like little EKG. So, I mean, I know any healthcare workers would love to do that. It doesn't have to be on a CPR. It can be anything. Even in the community, if somebody wants to wear it, you know, like just the heartbeat or even if a Valentine, we could have had that for Valentine, maybe put it red. We could have had that. So you can get creative if you feel like you have specific t-shirt design you want Bree to design, please let her know. And then so she can work with you to get that part. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so for community outreach, one of the big event that is coming in March 16th, we have the CPR training at Trinity United Methodist Church. Thank you, Dr. Patricia Sharon, for this connection and collaboration with the church and allow us to be able to schedule that day to come to the meeting, to the training. So it's going to be March 16th from 10 to 12. That's only 2 hours. And it's here in West Palm Beach, Florida. And we encourage all the healthcare workers and non-healthcare workers, because remember, we do need everybody who is willing to spend that time, 2 hours for that Saturday at that Trinity United Methodist Church, because that also will help us to have those logistics. Somebody maybe is going to be registration. Somebody's going to be showing the people or the children where to go. Somebody's going to be helping us to set up the room for the training. Somebody's going to be helping us set up the equipments around. Of course, the healthcare workers will do that, but too also do the training. So remember, during the training, some healthcare workers will be already out of the list. So chances is we need also other people who can come and help. And then they're coming in until they finish. And then what do they need? Do we have handouts to give it to them? So all those things, anybody who is willing to come, please come and join us and help us to do the work. So my computer every time I click, it just changes the side. That's okay. Yes, so thank you, Bree, for creating these flyers, for getting all this community activity out there. So thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Patricia Sharon, for the connection. The same thing, we're also working with Ms. Valentine Dantes. Also, we're going to work with another church to try and get another community outreach activity with the CPR and training to try and educate our community. We are not going to certify them. We are going to just uplifting and giving them the first identification of any emergencies. That's what we want them to identify. If a family member, if brother, sister, husband, wife, child is in trouble, what do I need to do? While I'm waiting for calling 911, that 2-3 minutes is crucial for that person. So that's why we are trying to go in the community and try to educate our own community here. So anybody who can do that, please join us. And if you're on Qhsc in another state, yes, you do have your communities out there. And if you want to do these projects and in other communities, please let us know. We can work with you. Bree can work with you, create those flyers and try to recruit people also. And you can help us who can do it, who can support you guys. And then how can we get the supplies to you to make sure you have those things. So please let us know if we are able to do that in other states. We can make the arrangement and try to reach as many community members as we can. Because remember, those 3-4 minutes is crucial for the person's survival. So while they're waiting for the help, they have few things that they can do to try and lengthen the life of that person who is experiencing an emergency. Okay, another community outreach is the cross ministry, which we did that last year. We did that every month, the last Thursday of each month. So we've already started. The first time we went in the January 25th, there was 5 of people there. And there's a link, it's already posted. We're gonna stay working on the website to try and post these activities more frequently. So you can see, if you go back and see, okay, what did they do and stuff like that. So this is usually we go and help sorting and packing or distributing food for the community. All those food that we pack usually goes to either the home. We go to the pantries in the communities, and then in the places that people need the food. So there's a lot of activities, a lot of excitement when people go to pack this food, and we create, Qhsc family. We go and catch up and try to exchange ideas, things that we can do better. So in that area, that is Lake Worth here in Florida. And then of course there's instruction, what exactly do you need to do? We have to be safe because all these things are kind of a little warehouse. And then all these things that we're doing is going to help the homeless people here in our community. So we cannot run away from those responsibilities. And if we can, contribute our times to go and sort this stuff for them. So please join us on every last Thursday of each month. So the next one is going to be the 29th of February. And maybe if that doesn't work for you, then go to the 28th of March. So please let us know, keep us know that if you're interested, and then come and join us. It's only 2 hours from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So come and join us, please. Okay, any questions before I start? Because this is going to take a little bit longer. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what are we planning to do this year? So it's kind of similar to last year, but we're trying to make it more efficient, more efficient of our time and then resources, because we want to make sure we impact more in our community in the hospitals. So these are the projects we did last year, and those are the same similar projects we're going to do this year. And then, so I put the project managers for those areas. So if somebody watching this video and then say, oh, I want to be able to participate also in sanitary pads or in postpartum hemorrhage or in wherever they be involved in the school supplies. So let me know. Or if some of the project managers wants to do 2 projects, it might be a little bit difficult to do it, but I know it's doable. And sometimes if we get towards the end and we don't have the project manager for those 3 projects left, then yes, we have to tag team and be able to get those projects going, because each project has its own merit. So starting with nutrition and hydration. So Mrs. Christine Behuniak and has been working with Ms. Teresa, Ms. Teresa Cooper. So also, they have been working behind the scene for this last 2 years now. We are going for the 3rd year for this project. So this is what we, Mrs. Christine Boniaki, raised money for the food for these children, and then are able to feed the children for the 2 weeks that we are there. Our goal was to make sure we feed the children for the whole year. So that also will cost us like $50,000. So one day, yes, we will do that part. But for the meantime, for the process that we are doing right now, we have been able to do 2 to 3 weeks raising money for these children and then buy food while we are there. So at least to help them concentrate with the school, stay in school and be able to learn something, and then hopefully they'll be able to change their course of life. So also we raise money also to buy the water bottles, because in Dar es Salaam it's hot. So because it's hot, the children needs to be hydrated. They play outside most of the time, so they don't have access to like bottled water like we have here. And they do have a water tap in the middle of the school, but you have to have a device, a cup or a bottle to use to be able to fetch that water. So now when we go, we usually buy those water bottles for them for 830 kids. And then so they always so happy to see that. And every child, you see them holding their bottle of water. We put their names on it. They will go to the field to be able to play those sports. I mean, in the sports. And then so that they can just stay hydrated, because it's so hot. Sometimes they pass out because of their dehydration. So if we can help that and allow the children to be children, that would be a good thing to do. And that's why we always try to raise money. So if you are interested in working that project, please let me or Mrs. Christine Behuniak, you can access her contact information through the Qhsc group, search her name and you'll be able to see her. Or if you have any questions, let her know in the group, and then we can contact and let her know if you want to work with her with fundraising, try to help us and supplement wherever you can for her project. And also, if you have any questions, just let me know. Because if you post the question in the group, then all the advisors and board members will be able to respond. Or if you want to send the message directly to me, that's fine. You can use the email info Gaboni Qhsc, or you can send it to my WhatsApp account. That's fine. So yes, anybody who is interested to help these kids eat, please come and join us. Quick thing, Mrs. Christine Behonek, I know you logged in before. Are you still there? Is not? Okay, that's okay. But one of the things that we were thinking, like $1.50 can feed one child for 5 days meals. $1.50. So imagine how many cups of coffee do you drink using $1.50. I know for sure you never get a Starbucks coffee. So $1.50 for one child for 5 meals, please. We can help these kids have a meal for a whole week without any problem. And then so if we can help us raise that money, that would be great. Okay, so let's go to the CPR. So CPR and first aid, we added there. So Mrs. Bree Vargas, she has been working hard to try and get these things going. So we did CPR before when we went to Dodoma, and we did only for the healthcare workers. I know Mr. Marsha should remember that. Mrs. Steve Jones, remember she was there. And there was other people that time, but we did a training during the hospital hours. And then so the nurses and doctors were able to learn something. So, but last year we knew that there was more demand, and Mrs. Bree Vargas also led that project. And we really understand the need, especially studying in the community, in the hospital with the nurses and doctors. So we are trying to do that at the hospital and also do it in the community because we know how much is needed. That's why we're even including this now with our community here, and then we get more practice, and then we go back to go and continue in Tanzania. So this project, of course, for one session with the surprise and everything else like that, it costs close to $2,500. So buying mannequin and stuff, buying all this surprise gloves, blood pressure cuff, and all the stuff. And usually when we do that, because the CPR, we're thinking of the cardiovascular system, means heart-related activities. So it means you have to do some hypertension education, which Dr. Sharon is going to help us with that. And then, of course, CPR, you have to have all these devices. So buying for like the whole session is like $2,500. So if you're doing fundraising for that project, definitely we're going to need your help to help us raise the money for the CPR devices and stuff like that to help our communities. And so we are planning to do at least 4 events in this year here in the United States. And of course, during the medical mission, we do for those 3 hospitals and then go to the community. So we're going to need up to like $10,000 for that project. So if you are willing to help us, or if you have an organization that value CPR, please let us know, or Mrs. Bree Vegas know, so then we can get our documents ready and try to request those support or funds or donation. So if you want to join her, because she's going to need a lot of people to come, especially those days that we offer those training, to know how to do it. And of course, if you want to work with her before preparing for content and stuff, she had almost everything already done, but definitely those little things create those, like cutting all those flyers and all the stuff. She can work with you to try and find the thing that you can help. That would be great. Next project. Sports. So we do have a lot of, for those kids, we also work with Magnet Youth Club. For the athletes in Tanzania, they call football there, but it's not football in America. It's called soccer here. So we work with those kids. And therefore, the same thing also, last time Mrs. Bree Vegas went there and did the CPR for these kids. So we know these kids are working hard outside. The conditions are not favorable for somebody to work outside for a long time. So they do need some emergency response training. That's why the first aid and CPR was done also for the sports. So we were hoping if we have enough money to buy these supplies, we want also to do at the school, where when they're doing sports and stuff outside, we want the teachers and the students themselves to know if somebody pass out in front of them, what is the first thing they need to do? So those first aid emergency response, we want even the child in Tanzania, in the community, knows those things, but it requires a lot of money. So that's why we want you guys to help us. And for sports also, in order for the kids to be healthy, we do need to get those equipment, the balls, the goalies, and all the pennies, the t-shirt and stuff like that. Dr. Paranka Siakabe, you have anything to add for sports?
No, I was just gonna say you could add my name under school supplies if you want.
Okay. But for sports also, yeah, we do need, we want these kids to be healthy. So stay healthy means they have to do some exercise and stuff. As I said, their conditions outside is hard. So maybe if you give us money, we can donate money, and then we can buy jerseys for them to play. So those are things that can help us help those kids, because the healthier they are, then they will stay in school, they will study, and then they'll be able to learn. And of course, break the cycle of poverty, because this is one of the schools that the children live below poverty level, meaning like they have only one meal. And that's why we have that project of nutrition with Mrs. Christine Behoniak. So 1 meal a day. So it doesn't matter if it's morning or it's night. It depends on what the family can offer. When they go to school for those 6-8 hours, they don't eat a thing. So that's why we always try to break it out and say, okay, if we try to give them money and buy food for them and eat lunch, that will help them to stay in school, focus and pay attention, and hopefully learn something that can help themselves and their family and break that poverty cycle. So we're trying to address their problem from the multiple angles. So if we feed them, we do the CPR to help them identify emergency stuff, we give them sports to keep them healthy. Those are the things that at least we help them to be able to pay attention in class and hopefully learn something with a full belly. So we all know if we don't eat ourselves, you become hypoglycemic. So how can you do that for the rest of your life, becoming hypoglycemic every single time you go to school? And how can you learn that? So we are hoping that people is going to jump in and help us so we can address those areas. On top of that, we do the sanitary pad project. So this is what we raise money, and thank you. Last year, people came out of, I don't even know what to say, because we were able to collect almost 5,500 sanitary pads, and we were able to give 224 girls at the Minazin. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th grade girls. The problem they have right now is like when they go during their menses each month, the girls will miss school 3 to 5 days, and we know education is important. So if every month you miss 5 to 6 days because you have your period and you don't have anything to wear, or you wear something which is light and you mess up your clothes. Of course, we know how kids do that. They start making fun of them and torture them. So chances the girls will have to go home or stay home. So what happens if she started to have menses on Monday? That means she missed the whole week. So that means that their education is only 3 weeks out of each month. That's not fair. So if we can help them to try and keep them in school, so then having period is not just a death sentence. Having period is one way of life, so we need to help them so they can adjust to their life like that and have them something to give them secure and self-esteem so they'll be able to continue learning. So last year we had Professor Hector George who helped us that part, and then this year she's not able to help us, but she said in future she will come back. She has other commitment already. So we are hoping somebody's going to jump in and help us with just raising sanitary pad, because we do need to help these girls who needs to come to school, because we don't want them to miss school because of their having the period or afraid to get their dress, their uniform dirty. Another project which Dr. Msambichaka has been pioneer for a long time is the thermal regulation and help baby breathe. So all these things is newborn related. So when the baby is born, what do we need to do? Baby needs to stay nice and warm. Yes, definitely. We need those little mittens, the hat, the little onesies, the little booties, the little blankets. You know, if you can knit them, great. If you can buy or give us money so we can buy through Amazon, yes, or Walmart, that's fine. So we have done that, and Dr. Msambichaka has been the strongest supporter for that part, and she's done, yes, through the surprise in-kind donations and now the technique and training for these healthcare workers at the hospitals. So, and Dr. Nguido also has been supportive of that, especially last year. No, 2 years ago when we went, he had a lot of stuff the hats and blankets made. We had, I think, like 5,000 of them made. And so it was a huge blessing for that. And then so Dr. Msamichaka and Dr. Ngido, also they're both teaching the healthcare workers now. And then that's the second session training. The same thing, help baby breathe means how you're transitioning the baby, what the baby needs those few minutes after delivery, and then up to the first hour. How can we get those baby to be safe and transition and stay with mom and then go home? So they've been strongest supporter for that project. And please, if you can help us with that, that would be great. If you want to join them, and if you go to the medical mission, that's the area you want to go and work with Dr. Msamichaka and Dr. Ngido, please join us. And then we can give them your contact information, and then we can communicate that way. So thank you for those doing that. Another area, that ICU and anesthesia, Dr. Gwen Randall has been the strongest supporter for that area, and she's driving all the educations on that area. So last time when we went to the medical mission in Mwananyamala, she was able to work in ICU, like literally stay there in ICU, doing the training for the anesthesia people, for the nurses, for the doctors, emergency room, to try and help them, to give them that if the person require intensive care, what do you need to do? Basic things. What do you need to do to keep that person alive and hopefully get them out of those vents and stuff, and then hopefully send them home? So she's been working very hard, and now she's working with Dr. Mape Said from Tanzania, Muhimbili, to provide those sessions. I think it's March 7th, we said. So if you are able to come to those sessions, great. But now if you are able to donate anything that can be beneficial, or those laryngoscope or the intubation sets, or like vent stuff, or the organization that donate those stuff, please let us know, and then so we can share that with Dr. Gwen Randall, and then she can collect them, and then we can take it to Tanzania. So, and if you want to work as a nurse, you want to work with them in those ICU area, please come and join us. Come and join us on the medical mission, come and join us during the training, and give us your feedback so the nurses in Tanzania, the doctors in Tanzania can learn from your experience. So please join us, and in either your expertise or your donations. The next one is postpartum hemorrhage. So that's also the big project. I know Mrs. Bree Vegas also is kind of in charge of it, kind of, but also might need somebody else to go in there because the CPR is growing fast. But also the postpartum hemorrhage also is one part of the emergency, obstetric emergencies. So definitely if we get somebody else who is an OB related and have the experience to come and share with us, definitely Mrs. Bree Vegas can share with you what she has done before and what can be continue from now on. Ms. Christie was doing that part, so I hope she will jump in and do that, maybe. But if there's anybody who wants to do that part, that would be great. We work with you and give you the pointers. Last year, as I said, Mrs. Bree Vegas was also instrumental in that area. She was able to raise a lot of money to buy those pads and all the scale and for quantification blood loss and all the pads for the patients to wear, after the delivery. And then also, of course, when she went to the medical mission, she was able to work with the nurses, do vital signs after the delivery to prevent or identify postpartum hemorrhage. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Yes, for fundraising and raising those supplies to take with us. Yes, that's the biggest part. But also when we go to the medical mission, actually teach or train the nurses and doctors there to be able to prevent the postpartum hemorrhage. Yes, so if you want to join up, and that is the area that is excite you, please come and join us. And remember, for Tanzania, postpartum hemorrhage happens to a lot of moms, but also those ones experiencing postpartum hemorrhage, we almost end up losing 47%. It's almost half of the moms who are experiencing postpartum hemorrhage died. Those we call is unprevented death, because we should be able to prevent those deaths, but they're happening. Because some of them largely is because of training or lack of education or identification. And of course, we know the surprise is always going to be like medication is going to be an issue, equipment is going to be an issue. We know that, but majority of that is the education, because you can identify somebody who's experienced or is going to experience postpartum hemorrhage even without touching that patient, just by knowing their history, screening them. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scene that we can do and train, whether during the online training or also going to the medical mission. Please come and join us. We need people to help us. Visual acute reading glasses. Yes, we had in the past Dr. Stenville. Last year we had Dr. Redemptor who did an excellent job. And of course, Mr. Steve Jones who was next to her, and it was took a lot of work, and it's a lot of behind the scene needs to be done. And then of course, when you get there now, we have to get to the children, get to the parents, and try to get them to be able to see just as basic things. We know in Tanzania, because they don't have routine optometrist appointments, they don't. Of course, it costs money. And then so people go without getting their eye checked. They don't know if they can't see. And of course, the children, the same thing. We don't know the children are failing in a class, either because they cannot read, or they don't see what they can read, or they're not able to read. So we need to be able to address those things to try and help these kids. And that's why last year we asked for glasses. I know Dr. Gwen, also Ms. Catherine Dudek, and a lot of people were able to raise a lot of glasses, collect a lot of glasses, and then of course raise money. I think Tonisha also was one of them, raise money to buy the glasses, the reading glasses especially. So for this year, definitely we're going to focus on those reading glasses, because a lot of adults, almost I believe was 62%, could not read, not because they have disease in their eyes, is because they cannot read, because they, you know, like they need magnifying. So they just, their glasses, I mean, their eyes are not diseased. They just can't read because they're too small. So as soon as you give them the reading glasses, they're able to see it. And that also usually is impacting their work. That means how can you be hired if you can't see? So then they end up doing these daily jobs that they cannot support their family on that daily income. So if we are able to give them glasses and they're able to go and can hold a job and be able to perform well in their job, so then that means their family is going to be raised. So this is the community that is around that school working at the, in Minazini. So thank you, Mr. Steve Jones, for working on that group and continue working on that group. And then so when we start working this year, we are trying to work with Dr. Tembas from Mwananyamala and try to recruit some more optometrists in Tanzania to try and help us. So when we go there, we can address a bigger group, because we know almost 500 people show up to come and get their eyes checked. And we had only one optometrist. So that was really a little bit frustrating, because we really want to help our community. So if the community know that we can offer that help to them, we really need to go prepared. Like you have more resource, expertise, people to come and go and offer that service. So we are really working behind the scenes right now. And Mr. Steve Jones, you'll be the first one to know when we get to that team, who is going to be doing that part. And also in that group, also Dr. Siakabe also has been working previous last year, and we continue doing that part, but he's in charge of all the stuff in school. So he's going to probably be involved in any of in everything in there. But also Mr. Steve Jones for writing and keeping record for that. So thank you for your dedication for that project. We're going to try and make it more efficient this year. So when we go to the community, and all those glasses needs to be delivered during that time. And that's why we need to collect those glasses now, ship them before we get there. And then so when we get there, we have all those things with us and be able to deliver on those parents when they see us right then and there. So last year, there was a huge mishap that the glasses were sent, but it was delayed. So we didn't see the glasses. We only had the few ones we carried with us. And that also make that project kind of inefficient, because after we left, then the glasses has to be like shipped from one person to the next. So it created a lot of chaos behind the scene. But we promise not to repeat that mistake again. And we want to make sure we do it and deliver those glasses before we get there. So once we get there, we have a team from US and from Tanzania to help us make sure we address these parents. So anybody who shows up need the glasses, they should get glasses that time. Unless if it's like a disease, it's prescription that we don't have, then those are the ones that we can refer them to places that they can go and get that support. But it's a big project because it does affect the whole community right there. And we know if you can't see, you can't work. And if you can't work, you can't provide for your family. So that is the part that we need to address that to help. And of course, Mrs. Christine Behoniak also, she did the training last year for the parents for nutrition, because yes, we can give you glasses and stuff, but what happens if you are eyesight is affected from the nutrition part. So then, yes, she was able to teach those parents about the nutrition. So what type of food should we eat to be able to increase your eyesight, the health of your eyes. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. You can see the project is almost, some of them talk to each other. So we're trying to make sure that we get one person in each project who's going to be the strongest in that project, and then work with other people around it to try and help and make it more efficient, more accountable for those people who are in charge. So that is one. And then, of course, the school collaboration, that was last year's one, the first time we did the school collaboration, and it was an exciting thing, and everybody was so happy. And thanks to Mrs. Victoria Jones and Dr. Siakabe, they worked so hard to try and get that thing done. And of course, for Mr. Steve Jones to help with the technology also. So it was, I mean, the children loved it and they're looking for it. And we have huge plans for that project this year, because we really want to make sure the children in Tanzania can see what the children in America do. And then, so then they will see inspire them to see what they can do with their life. Because if I know somebody in America who is the same age as me, they're studying this and doing this stuff, what can I do for myself to be able to inspire and get out of this poverty level living? So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think last meeting, Mrs. Victoria Jones did explain a little bit about the school collaboration, and you guys were able to see and hear what feedback was from the previous meeting. Another area is cardiac, and then that's Dr. Patricia Sharon. She was able to go last year with us and did a lot of training for the doctors and nurses, and also for the athletes in Tanzania. Because remember I said, these kids are exercising or practicing in the tough environment. A lot of diet and other stuff affect their health. So knowing what to eat, how to do exercise, how to identify things that could affect their hearts and stuff. So she was able to teach that. And also at the hospital in Mwananyamala, she gave a lecture for the doctors and the nurses on how to identify cardiac issues. So there was a lot of stuff that was beneficial from, we benefited from her during the medical mission. And now she's part of doing the CPR and collaborating with Trinity Methodist Church. So thank you very much, Dr. Patricia Sharon. We need your help. We still need to keep going. And the last area is school supplies. Yeah, I know Dr. Siakabe said he can work can be on that group and work with the people who are working with that part. So the school supplies includes the backpack, the pen and paper, crayons, razors, all the stuff that the child needs for school. And so we want it to be there when we give it to them. So if we address their food, we address their health and athlete, and address the CPR identification of emergencies, and then help them to stay in school with a sanitary pad, and then also make sure that they can see. We do visual acuity and screening them. And of course, we did also vision screening last year. If we get one of the doctors who is able to do that, but we can add that in the project. So, checking their hearing, if they get, because you can have good eyesight, but what happens if you can't hear? Majority of the children last year had ear infection when they're children, and they didn't get a treatment. So, you can find still their eardrums, almost like some of them are like blocked and you can't even hear anything else. So at least Dr. Msambichaka was able to, with her team, able to screen those children and identify and give them medication to help them clear that infection and hopefully the child will hear. And then of course, if you give them the backpack and stuff, so that child almost is going to be addressing multiple areas. And definitely if you inspire them, of course, to see that, okay, whatever you are doing right now, you can do better. You can do better. You can get out of this environment and be able to do stuff and then come and help your family. So that's what we want. So that's almost, it's a huge community outreach support. So if we can do all these things, we will help the community here, of course, the help community in Tanzania, and also help them when they are sick. Now we go to the hospital and try to train those things. Okay, I know I went so much. Yeah, so the last one is just the calendar, which everybody knows. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing unless if somebody else have a question for these activities.
I have a question. When is the date for the donations, to send the donations again?
It is Sorry for moving it too fast. It's gonna be spinning. So we want to be able to start collecting donation of supplies now. And then we want them to start sending to us, and then hopefully we collect up to the 30th of April. And then then we ship to the agents, because if we get it or wherever it's coming from, or if it's something that we can order and then send it to the agent by May 15. So we give ourselves 2 weeks from there. And then from there, when it gets to the agency, and then they have to repackage it to the containers. And then by May 30th, we want them to be out of here. So usually from, they always say, give us 6 to 8 weeks, but we want to give them at least even close to 3 months and get that thing over there. We want it to arrive by August. If we know for sure it's there, clear it and keep it there. And then when we get to September, we have those things already waiting for us. So those are the tentative dates. So by April 30th, we should have received those stuff. We need to start receiving them now. The more we get, the more we keep, yes. And then counting and see how many things we have and stuff like that. So we have from now to the April 30th, how many days? Some people who do no math. How many days?
No.
45.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I'm not sure. I just guessed.
I'm like, I don't think so, because that's 17. 17 is what? 2 more 12 days, and then 30. So that's 42. And then April. Oh, it could be.
So it's going to the Virginia one, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
I got something. I mean, do you have something else on the agenda that you're following now, or?
No, it's over. Whatever I was preparing, it's over. The schedule and project was the last thing. So right now it's just a discussion now. What do people want? Which area do you want to join in? And if you have any questions, something is not clear. Because we want to, after this meeting, we want to be able to start sending those requests or fundraising events to specific project to be able to share with people, and then of course, like raise money and collect those supplies.
Okay. No, I was going to say that happy birthday to Muguzi Valentine Dantes, and she had launched a fundraiser on her Facebook page. I think it shows up on Instagram too. So I was going to tell all the members, if you have a social media page, Facebook page, if you're friends with Valentine Dantes, then please support her on that fundraiser. If you're not friends, then please become her friend so that you can support her on the fundraiser. And Valentine, I think the last time I checked, it was at $61. It's a modest amount. She's looking to raise $200. And I think we're at 61 now, Valentine. I'm not sure.
That's
but if
correct. Thank you.
yeah, so if you can, please, let's go on there and let's support her. I think we can get the 200. And another thing too, if we're supporting, then maybe it'll inspire her other followers or friends to support as well. And I think this is like the second little one that she's done. So these little things come in handy as well. So just want to give a little nudge on that one.
Thank you, Prank.
Okay, so what Valentine's did was when you go to the Facebook, when your birthday is coming, it asks you what do you want to do. So you say, okay, I want to use my birthday as a fundraising event, and then just gonna ask you when do you want to start. It usually gives you 2 weeks before the date and then a week after, so almost like 3 weeks. You can change and extend it. Let's say you raise the money to get to 200 and people give you up to 230. You can go in there and change, instead of 200, I want 400. So sometimes it helps to keep going. So once the limit is reached, you can go and up it. Usually they'll say, don't put it like when you start, you say, don't put 5,000, because the amount is too big, it's going to discourage people. But if you put like 200, which is usually the usual number, 200, you can go and up it and up it and up it until you get to whatever you have. And the more you get it, then you keep sharing. Like if somebody donated, you go back and say, oh, thank you, so and so. When you say that, it goes back to the, what do you call it, trending?
Feed.
Yes.
The feed.
To the feed, I'm sorry, yes. So it goes to the feed and said, yes, thank you for whatever donating, we are here, whatever. If you're doing exact specifically for, and let's say for CPR, okay, thank you, this $100 will help us to buy bag mask and ventilation, whatever item. Or it's gonna help us buy the blood pressure machines, whatever. I mean, so when you do that, people say, okay, oh, if I give you money, you're gonna buy A, B, C, D. So they feel like they donated to something specific versus just, like money goes and then people are like, okay, what are you gonna do with my money? So it always helps, like, okay, yeah, if you give us $10, yeah, it's gonna help us buy 2 backpack. Okay, thank you. When people wants to donate, it's because they want to know what exactly are you going to do with their money. And so if you keep feeding to them and whatever you are promising, those are the things that we are going to abide by it. So I always itemize something. So if somebody donate and say, oh, this is $10 for a lunch for a child. Yes, I will keep that money and put it on the nutrition side of it to make sure that it goes for the nutrition. Because if somebody give you the money, we want those blessings. So we want our blessing to go to what person is blessing that event for. So we are not going to mix it. Let's say we had the nutrition and we were lucky we raised $10,000 and we only wanted 5,000. I cannot take the 5,000 and give it to somebody else. No, the 10,000 was given for nutrition is gonna go there for nutrition, even if it's like left for the next year, it does not matter. But it has to be used for what the person is specified. So I always tell people, like, if you're giving your money, tell me where do you want it to be used. There's some people say, I don't care, get that for the organization, used for everyday function, which is fine. I will put it on the part that is going to be used for function activities, like paying for the annual fees for the Zoom or whatever it is. But if somebody identify specific something, like last year they were saying, okay, I'm giving this just for the reading glasses, which is great. We will go and buy the reading glasses, or I'm buying this for the thermal regulation blankets. That's fine. We're going to do that. And so encourage people, because sometimes people want to give the money for specific activity. And if you don't say that, they'll be like, I don't want to give you the money, then you're going to use forever. Yeah. So sometimes it's inspire people. Maybe they had a baby and then you said, oh, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get this money for the little onesies. Yes. And some people, that's what they say, okay, I want to buy the onesies and give it to you versus me giving you the money, which is fine because people want to make sure they give you the item that's going to go and help the babies. And then usually once we come back, we create those videos and then we send to people like, okay, this is what where your money went. You want it for the onesies. This is what the baby have, though the onesies they do. So we take a lot of pictures and come and share with them to show them that this is what we can do to help the people who we are donating with.
I also say, just keep in mind too, that I think, so sometimes too, if you're posting something, I'm not sure if you can actually control those dates, but the better that you can control those dates for your fundraising in terms of the beginning of the week. So if you post a fundraiser, let's say on a Friday, chances are when it gets loaded into the feed, it's going to get pushed out really quickly. Because remember, everybody's posting on Friday, Saturday, and I'm assuming Sunday, the weekend. So your whatever you're posting in is going to get pushed out really quickly. So that's why sometimes you have to repost it again, or like Dr. Gaboni was saying, you just have to recomment on it to get it pushed back into the feed. So it's good to actually post it on a Monday or on a day when actually the traffic is kind of a little slower on social media, even though it still is kind of busy, but it'll slow it down. You get a better chance of having more people view your presentation. And another thing that to keep in mind, and this is something that I learned from my study here when I was doing my dissertation, is I call it the the food insecurity intermittent cycle. So for people that are doing really bad financially, that second half of the month is tough. So that's where they're really struggling. But for people who are doing okay, but they're still struggling, the second half of the month is where they may be able to make those donations. A lot of the big bills are coming in at the beginning of the month. So that first 2 weeks is like, you're just eating up everything you got. So if you can try to schedule your fundraiser, even if it starts, because of your birthday, you don't have a choice. But if it kind of drifts into that second part of the month, or you repost it again, the second part of the month, you have a better chance of getting some people to donate, because I don't think I have many rich people that are friends with me who are going to donate. So just keep that in mind as well.
Okay. Any feedback, any comments?
I got one more thing. If Brianna can come on, I'm not sure if Brianna can come on. Not Bree Vargas, but Brianna. Sure. If not, we'll talk about it. We can talk about it later. But I want to do like a recruiting. I know she mentioned something about doing recruiting on social media, so I want to try to do something like that with her. I want to try to see if we can drum up some optometrists from the US side, but we can talk about it later.
That's fine. Mr. Steve Jones, do you have anything, inspiration? Because remember, the people who are in project leading positions, you can share your comment or something that you want people to join your group. So they need to know a little background, because you guys have been already doing those projects. So a little bit of background of those projects, it will help to shed more light to people. Like, if I come and work with you for CPR, what exactly do you want me to do in there? Okay, I'm not a healthcare worker. How can I come and help with that? Or if I have to come and help with the school collaboration, what exactly do you want me to do? Or if I have to come and help with the school supplies, what exactly do you need me to do that? You know, like, if you guys share, that will help people who are listening, because we're going to post this video. They need to know, like, oh, I want to join in because I want to be able to see how the school collaboration works. What can I come and do or help with that project? So that means, in short, sell your project.
Yeah. Dr. Gabani, for
Yes.
the optometry portion of it, I would definitely love. Normally, those who wear eyeglasses, they have an annual checkup with your personal optometry. So when you go do that, would you ask them about extra eyewear? Ask them about volunteering. Ask them about, do they have an organization that might be able to donate, eyewear, whether it's new or old. We prefer new, and reading glasses, so that we can have enough to go over an additional. Because if you have eyewear, you are definitely going to see the doctor at least once a year for your annual checkup. So that would be very advantageous for us as well. And if you're volunteering in the optometry area, we need the help. We are not going to turn down any help. All help is good help, but the job is not that hard. You're just basically working with the kids and the community and the teachers as well. Also, what we're looking for is really some optometrists to come, the doctors to come. If we can get about 3 to 5 doctors who may be committed now that's coming to the program in September, maybe we can get if we get about 5 committed, maybe we get 2 to come or 3 to come, something like that. And that would be very advantageous to our mission, because last year we only really had 1, and that was based for maybe a day or so because things didn't work out like we're supposed to. So if you're wearing glasses, you know someone who is an optometrist, okay, would you mind kind of spreading the word that we're going on a mission and that we need volunteers? Would they like to come? Would they not? Or could they donate eyewear? Because a lot of time when I go to my optometrist, they always have, leave your old glasses here. That can't, stuff like that. I mean, that's one for the old one. We really want the new ones. The reading glass is much easier. But if we can get them to volunteer, it would be much better as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steve Jones. Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. So kind of like a script you can use, be like, yes, we are trying to help. We are doing global volunteering. So we're going out of the country, East Africa. We are trying to help the children in one of the school and their parents, because that's the area that we are focusing on. And then, so the children, yes, up to like 23% of the children cannot read because they need reading glasses. They don't get a routine optometrist visit. They don't get screening of their eyes. They don't go, those acuities done. No. So, and also we want to make sure that they can read and then stay in school. So one of the projects is we are collecting the reading glasses. And then so one area, if you are able to donate the reading glasses, that would be great. Or we're looking for the optometrists, so people who wants to go and volunteer. So volunteering is 2 weeks. We want to be usually do a week of screening and distribution of those glasses. So if somebody for any reason, the preference is 2 weeks we want, because so then we can see more people. But for any reason, because I know sometimes the people cannot get more than 2 weeks, for, especially for those positions, and they're able to do 1 week, that's fine. If they give us 4 or 5 days and they're able to come and do that part of that project and then go back to work, we will take that, because it really, this is a huge problem that we need to address. And coming from last year, as I said, we saw almost 400 or 500 people, and we were able to give only less than 100 glasses. That was frustrating for me, because I know we have so many glasses, but we didn't have optometrists who can screen them and then be able to give them out. And of course, the supply was delayed. So that's why we want to fix it this year. So if we can get reading glasses donation, great. We can get the optometrists to come with us, great. And the last one is, if they want the organization to be a sponsor of Qhsc, we will use their logo in everything we say about the eye exam. So they're gonna get a free publicity for doing that. So we're okay with that, but in that usual publicity lasts for a year. So all this time we are raising money and funds for optometrists or something that if they want to support us, definitely we will be able to post their name, said thanks to so-and-so optometrists from wherever the state it is, they're helping us to raise funds or collecting glasses or sending their optometrists to Tanzania to go and help us. And then we can talk logistics and stuff after that when we get their interest. So they need to know that what is in for them. For them, it's going to be a free publicity, because every time that we speak about their glasses, their name is going to show up or their logo is going to show up. So we give them at least, of course, anybody wants to, I mean, any business person wants to know, if I give you this, what am I getting back? And that's the reality. Yes, we're going to use their logo also to give them the face that, yes, they're helping us. And then by doing that part, they get free publicity. They get people knowing that they're helping outside the country, also people who have otherwise don't get that help at all. And that goes to any other project. Okay.
I think Mrs. Jones has something.
Okay.
I just wanted to add to that, that another way they could help is actually to, when you're having these teaching trainings on the, on the Zoom calls, I think if you could just get an optometrist to come on and speak about eye health, they may not be able to go on a mission trip, but they could just come on and share out to, just proper eye care and eye health. And, if you notice that your sight is doing something different than what it normally does, maybe they could speak to that. So
that is an excellent point. Yes. If they cannot come, but they can share that, and then they're willing to, host even an hour of discussion. Yes, we can try to connect and record it and then send it to Tanzania. So then the people will learn the eye health and what things they can do, basic stuff that they can do to help. And then hopefully, if we know when they're coming, we can get their questions from there. So then at least when they're addressing what exactly people needs to hear from Tanzania. So that's an excellent point. Yes. Okay. Any other comment? That was very good. Any other comment?
I have something.
Yes.
My local people in Florida, if they have like a specific Publix they go to, because I'm having trouble here getting the managers to allow me to fundraise, because it's always something. In December, it was
Salvation.
Army Salvation. Right now it's Girl Scouts. So the manager is going to ask for our EIN number. And they try to get me in, but like I said, it's always something. So everyone has their specific Publix that they go to here. If they could ask the managers if they're willing to let us fundraise, even if it's just an hour outside, when nobody else is fundraising, so we don't bother or mess up their system, I would appreciate it. Including you, Dr. Gabon.
Okay. I don't eat food. I'm just kidding. Okay, any other comment or suggestion, please? All those suggestions will help us be more efficient, and get, because we don't have that many days, unfortunately, we don't.
Sorry, Bree, I'm sorry, you were in and out. Can you repeat what you said?
So, when you go to Publix, you know how people fundraise like outside? We have to talk to the managers in order to get a little space to fundraise, even if it's an hour. I've done that before and it's very successful, but right now I'm having trouble with my two Publixes that I usually go to because they're doing Girl Scouts right now. So if you know that, maybe you could talk to your manager at the Publix and see if we can get a little time slot. I'm willing to drive anywhere in order to fundraise. That'd be great.
Say the Publix on Southern.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, sorry. Wrong person. Go on, Brianna. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, no, I was gonna say the Publix on next to I-95.
Mhm.
I-95 in Southern and Parker.
Okay. Will you ask them?
I could try. You just go in, because it's half like where the rich people live, and then like half like regular people. But it's like super busy. You get like firefighters. You get like the rich people each. So it's like a good mix. It's just a good mix. It's always busy. That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. That.
Okay. If you happen to go there, I'll give you the EIN number to show the manager, and then we could try to set something up.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank, did you want Brianna for something?
Yes, I did, but I'm not sure if she's, I mean, I wasn't sure if she was available earlier. But yeah, so I was just talking about trying to do a recruiting campaign on social media. I know Brianna had mentioned something about that when we were on a mission. I thought it was a wonderful idea. And since we're kind of stuck with this issue, even though we do have an optometrist potentially in Tanzania, I want to try to see if I can recruit some from here. So wanted to talk to Brianna about that eventually to see if we could launch a mini campaign, kind of like what Valentine is doing right now with her fundraiser.
Okay, we could try.
Asante sana, Rafiki.
Okay, any other comments? So they said we have 57 days for the fundraising and collecting the items to ship to Tanzania, 57 days. But we have only 42 days to get stuff to the guy up there. So if we can, sending the TikTok or whatever, less than a minute or maybe 2 minutes in max, little synapse of what you are asking for, items and stuff. And then if everybody focus on specific item versus the whole organization, because you can see they're almost like 13 projects. If you announce all of them, people get dizzy. They're not going to be able to hear what exactly is your focus on. But if you're talking about specifically the eyes and glasses and stuff, so your fundraising just focusing on glasses, more like reading glasses. So because of the reading glasses, we don't need a prescription. I mean, once we know we do visual acuity and somebody can't read and then you give them something to read, that is a little bit easier. Even if we have less optometrists with us, then it's easier for everybody else who is there, as long as the optometrist says that if they get this number, give them the reading glasses, then that's fine. But those are things that we want to be able to do. If you're sending that little flyer, just be specific and focus and give them the value amount. So if you give us $10, we're going to be able to buy these 10 reading glasses from dollar store or whatever it is. I mean, just have that technical account so people will know if I give you $20, you're going to get 20 glasses. Okay, that's fine. Because if you don't, and then I have only $50, but I don't know if you're asking for $500. Because if somebody wears the prescription glasses, they know it's $300-400, and they don't have that $400, so they think they cannot help. But if you tell them, I need reading glasses that if you give me $10, I can buy from the dollar store this amount. And then so they will know, okay, if I give you $50, you get another 50 glasses. So then they will give you that money knowing that amount you are getting versus having the unexplainable figure in their head because they're not going to be able to understand it. So if you can do your research and Google it or wherever on your stores and see sample reading glasses, how much it is, or Amazon, how much it is, like a package of 10 reading glasses level. I mean, they go to either level 2.5 or 3 or 3.5. And then how much is it? Then use that as a test to say, okay, if you give me $10, I'll be able to do 3 packages, which has 15 glasses. So then people know that, okay, if I give you this much money, you're gonna get this much glasses. And that helps to break it down so they don't have to think about it. If you give me $10, I'll be able to buy 3 baby blankets, which is gonna be used for thermoregulation for 3 babies. Great. So they need to know that detail. Okay, and if you need any help with making those flyers and little videos and stuff, I know somebody who is willing to help me to make them. Who shall remain nameless? Just kidding. But yeah, so if you're able to help us, if we were, even if you don't know how to make the video or something, talk to us and then we can give you an actual finished product link or the actual video so you can post it to your own family members, friends, and then they can help. As I said, if you focus on one thing, the family is easier to help you versus if you focus on 10 things and they're like, oh, I can't help because I don't have that much money. But you say, no. If you give me even $10, you're gonna feed 3 babies for 5 days. So they're like, oh, okay, $10, sure, here. And then, so that's how usually it makes it easier. And because there's so many of us, we don't know the same people. So chances is I have my group of people that I know, I can ask them, and then you have somebody. So if 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 of us do it, then you're gonna touch different groups, and then that's gonna help. So it doesn't feel like you're taxing the same group over and over and over by asking too much. Because I mean, we know everybody has financial difficulties, we know that. But we just ask you for their feeding that little humanity in them to help us fundraising for these projects. And if everybody can do it, we help tremendously. And that's why we have that saying, haba na haba, hujaza kibaba. So haba na haba means like a small and small and small and small. If everybody just did a little bit, and when we collect it, we're gonna have a humongous collection of stuff. So that's why we are asking for your help. And please help us. And if you have any questions that you're asking, you don't know what to do, and you want to help, please let me know. I'll be happy to share. And we can figure that part out. But yeah, so officially we are unveiling all these multiple projects and fundraising to try and get different groups of people. So if you see these things we posted in the media, please share. If you can, share with your friends. Or if you're doing specific something, then yes. Or if you want to be tagged when we post stuff in the from the official website or for the Facebook or something, that if you want to be tagged so you can share that part, I'll be happy to connect that. You can let me know, or let Dr. Siakabe know, or Bree, to know if we are posting all these links, we can tag you, so then you'll be able to know. Or if Valentine, she can tag you, Tanisha, if she's there, and if you need to do that part, also Christy. All those things will help us to reach a huge group. Yeah, even Mrs. Christine Behoniak, yes. Is that Dr. Sharon number? I always forget that now.
Do we have an Instagram?
We do.
Can somebody send it to me? Like the link or whatever, the profile, whatever link.
Yes, so we have Instagram, we have.
But I can't.
Yes, so we're gonna send you that link, yeah. And you young people who do TikTok, I know Christy, she's very good with the video, but I know she's quiet and hiding somewhere. She created those little fancy video. I love those videos. Those little 20-second video, it's beautiful. Just give them something to move people to say, you know what, I want to help that, or I want to be one of those people. So you guys are young and creative. Please use your creative mind to help us get your people, so then at least they know and make it less stressful for everybody else. So if everybody's pitching, that helps. So we are asking for your help. Mr. George Gabon, I see you. Did he run away?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. How
I
are
am,
you?
I am just anonymous listener, and actually, I enjoy the conversation, and I may be able to add my comment in another time. But I'm enjoying the conversation, and I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, so if we have things to share and we can ask you to help us somewhere else, then yes, we'll let you know.
I'll be available. I'll try to be available. Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, are you frozen? You can see your jacket is heavy. See, we don't have any problem like that in Florida.
Oh, we have like 27 degrees now, and it was snowing last night. So, and I have to pick up my son from a sports event.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Okay, anybody else? Because if then I can give you. Chris, Tanisha?
I was just about to say that. Tanisha.
No, I don't have anything to add today.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Did you work last night?
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. And Miss Christie?
I'm here. I can send the videos that I made last year to post on the Instagram if you'd like.
Yes, please. Yes. And
Okay,
can you
no problem. I will.
and can you make more?
But I'll try.
We can talk later. That's okay. That's all those
Yeah.
short stuff. Yes. So we want, to give people a taste of what you guys saw, what you need. Because remember, the more people do those video, the more, it becomes more aware of other people. Because remember, if I go, I see things a different way because I have different lens that I use. I've seen this, I've been there. To me, it might not seem excited, but it's just I see it part of a day. But for a new, fresh of eyes, seeing something, then you see it, and then probably the rest of the people see the same way. We want to inspire people, and so that if they see through another person, it might make sense to them, and then so they may come and join us or help us in one way or another. So that's why. But I did love the videos you made last time. They're very cute and they're creating nice vibes. Yes. Okay. If nothing else, I don't want to keep taking your time. I appreciate this. Yes. So almost an hour and close to 20 minutes or an hour and a half. Thank you very much for this Saturday. Thank you for coming, and I appreciate you guys being on time and always supporting QHSC. We cannot do without you guys. So I thank you today. I thank you tomorrow and every day. If you have any ideas, if you didn't want to say during the meeting, that's okay. Just send me a message on the side. I appreciate. We're growing. We cannot grow without your support and suggestions. And you probably might see things a little bit differently. Please share your concern. So we can make it better for everybody, because we all have a goal of helping our family members, friends, community. So if we can do that from different angles, I'll be happy to receive all the comments. Constructive criticism, I will take it, I will learn, so then we can make the organization better. So I thank you for giving us the opportunity to join us, and may God bless you. Enjoy your Saturday, and thank you very much.
Before you go, real quick, Dr. Gabone, can you tell me so from the last meeting, can you is it possible for you to see like the time that I joined to the time that I end, just so I can log that in my through my HCA?
Oh, you said
hours?
the last meeting?
Yeah.
It was 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes.
But do you remember that it was from 9 till, so it started at 9, right?
Yeah, I started at 9:20, 11, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then today is gonna be definitely an hour and a half, because you came in early too, so it'll be an hour and a half, yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did they send back the grant, the $200?
The $200
Yeah.
to my account? No.
No. Did they say on your account that delivered or sent?
I think they did. I can double check. Did you not receive it?
No, I didn't. So that's why I want to make sure I follow it up.
Okay, I'll go look into that when I go log in my hours too.
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly. Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, because usually once it says it delivered, then I know I can follow it up where is it, because they're supposed to send the check to the organization. So I look at the account. I didn't see it, but I want to make sure, because originally they were sending the actual check, and then I changed it for them to send the automatic deposit in the account, but they didn't. I've not seen it, so I want to make sure. Yeah, just let me know what it says. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay. So what Valentine is talking about is if you work in an organization that support non-profit organization and also support the volunteer hours of their employees to whatever organization you're doing, if you have that, it helps because you go to your account and you go to your website and create an account, and then you say, okay, these are how many hours I spend with QHSC, or how many hours I spend with the meeting QHSC, or how many, I volunteer maybe cross ministry. And then, so this is what I want those hours to be paid to QHSC. So it doesn't have to be cross ministry. It can be anywhere else in the country. As long as you volunteer those hours, then you log into your institution, then that money is going to be sent as a grant to QHSC. One way they're thinking is like they are happy that their employees who go and help with the community through their names. So because when you go to work there, you're working as their employee. But then they get the tax deducted, but they get that money and give it to the QHSC directly. So that it helps, because either way you're going to do volunteer or you're going to meetings, you already spend the time anyway. So now they just try to get it as in their employees spending this community outreach to help. Then they give those funds to the non-profit organization of your choice. So if you have that, just ask your human resource for your benefit and stuff. Sometimes they say, okay, what is our community outreach support? And then so they will tell you, yeah, you can collect the hours and then the organization is gonna pay the non-profit. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Qhsc.